one-day release. Demon sub tries not to crease, and Ewok's keeping nice and warm in bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the Candyman is opening another can. Technical difficulties, they're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, they happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. Sometimes they're salty about the gaming biz, and nobody knows who Upworlder is. Technical difficulties, they're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, they happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time.
Good evening, everybody. Glad you made it. Whoa, I'm new fucking standard here. David's got audio as well. I was just thinking, we got audio.
No, I am here. I'm just waiting for you to fucking roast yourself for the fact that you're a fucking
Technical
fool.
difficulties are starting before the stream now. Fucking, we're doing it. We are busting our own meta. Yeah, so glad you made it to version 2 of the stream. So yeah, I hope you had a good week.
Version 1's really worth the watch, just saying. Get that watch time through the fucking roof on that.
It's deleted. It's gone. It's just a thing of the past. So don't worry about it. Right, let's give a shout out to the guys in the audience who, as they've managed to as they've been dancing between various live streams, we probably should reward them from their efforts. Good evening to Cheese Me. Good evening to Upworlder. Good evening to Because of Ben Stoke Crispin. Evening to Spam and Egg, who's sitting there behind David. Evening to Darren, also known as Demon Sub on Instagram. Hello, sir. Hello to some dude on YouTube. Hello, Tim. Good to have you here, sir. Not getting your ass kicked at fucking Battletech tonight. Who else we got? I think that's it. So yeah, good evening to one and to all. No Pandy Man, but I think, doesn't Pandy, last time we had elections, I think he was like doing the assisting where they do the address checking and all that. Because for those of it, for our international viewers, it is election day here in the UK. We are voting for local councillors and all that sort of shizamajiz.
It's a holiday in Germany on a Thursday. You guys really know how to party.
Fucking midweek holidays. Look at them. Cutting it up. Yes, just local shit, Cheese Me. We're not getting the fucking robot Starmer twat out. But obviously, it's part of the democratic process, so we participated before this evening's show. Oh, well done. Well, it's not often you win from the way. Certainly, you're the world's most self-deprecating victor, or you do paint it that you don't often win. So I'm glad you did. Day of the oh, Day of the Workers. Oh dear, it sounds like a John Wyndham novel, doesn't it?
It's very communist. I thought you got rid of that.
Yeah, no, there's a bit of an ideological clash there. Oh shit, I bet there were, Darren, up north where you are. I bet it was driving you batty. Uh,
I've got a fucking blue bottle in my studio, and it's fucking irritating me. And it's only been 2.5 minutes. Look, you bastard! Fucking lay down so I can smash your
Adu
face in.
Shakos, good to see you, sir. You made it to version 2 of the stream. Getting bloody. Do you know what, Tim? Don't get me started, mate. I hate public holidays. I don't understand the point. Everybody in the country off at the same fucking time. It's crazy. That's very northern of you, Darren. I almost got
Did you
to my
have
meat
chips
pie.
and gravy in the other hand, Darren?
Oh dear,
Fuck
fucking hell.
No.
I imagine probably, well, obviously by proxy voted for Farage's representatives as local councillors. I imagine they're going to get quite a few hundred council seats, unless people decide not to do what the polls say they've been going to do for about 6 months. So I imagine that tomorrow there will be a lot of Reform councillors here in the UK. And we may even have a Reform mayor of our county, or unitary area, as they're calling it. We'll see.
Yeah, because Lincolnshire really needed a mayor, didn't
it? Needed a mayor.
Meh.
Oh, look at that. Steak and ale and chocolate muffin, you biffer, Darren. You total fat bastard.
Anyway, you said your hello.
Yes.
Should we tell the boys and girls what we're doing this week?
Apart from jovial banter and basic madness, we will be following our usual format tonight. So David and I will show you what we're going to be working on, if we do any work at all, because frankly it's too fucking hot. I don't know.
I've got the fan on.
I've got a fan on. If anybody hears roaring on the microphone, I do have a fan, but it's right at the other end of the room.
You've
so
not suddenly become a lion.
No, I do apologise if it's bleeding through the audio, but I've put it as far physically as away as I can. Then we'll have a chat about what we got up to at club night, and then there isn't really any news, so that'll be brief. And then we'll get into our main topic after wasting a bit of time chit-chatting with you guys. And this evening we're going to take a stab at having a vent about some of the sins and virtues of tabletop gaming.
We've become very papal.
All right, I tell you what, I might even do. I tell you what, you guys should share. David won't have seen it because he's not a member of the On Tabletop Discord server, but Toros put a brilliant thing. In fact, when we do the topic, I'll read some of them out because you guys are so witty and funny. There's some great suggestions for sins and virtues been put in there under the stream link. So that's fucking brilliant. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, unless you guys want to suggest news, feel free to suggest things. David, call them out if I miss them.
Suggest away.
But basically, I haven't seen frig all on YouTube that's caught my interest. And
we'll talk about what I've been doing this week because I've been down a rabbit hole.
Well, actually, yeah. What have Mantic released though about that board game?
They've released a bit more of a teaser footage and stuff as well. Not a huge amount more.
New Stargrave, robots, nice. Do you know what? Talking of which, I bought some North Star miniatures the other day.
What North Star miniatures have you been buying?
Oh, I'll show you.
You working on them?
No, I'm not. Not tonight. Right. Let's show everybody what we're up to. Do you want to go first, mate?
Yeah, and we're going to go first with the other half, I think. Let me get it up. There we go. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Get it up for the live stream. That's the kind of live stream that.
So,
That's
boys and
fucking
girls,
brilliant. With her in the room as well. Let's get it up. Right, okay.
come on down.
Okay, this is the After Dark stream, apparently. And I'm not making David's
So-
camera any bigger than that, for anybody who wants to ask.
Spam is currently painting the hull on her salamander's boat.
And I'm shaky as fuck.
Yeah, it might have something to do with all the caffeine you've had today.
And just to clarify for everybody, you've decided to go for the psychotic gold trim.
Yeah,
A la
psychotic
box
gold
art.
trim, a la box art.
Oh my god.
And then, boys and girls,
Oh
Look
dear,
at
the
these
blue
bad
pill
boys.
gags are starting. That's fucking brilliant.
so
It is indeed
I
Armada Crispin. It's the Salamanders faction. Painting.
am back painting dwarves.
That one was a bit
Shock.
blurry, mate. The focus is off. Back a bit. Hey, that's it. You got it.
There we go. So painting.
What's
more
that
miners.
yellow?
That yellow.
Is that ice
That
yellow?
yellow, kind sir,
Yeah, perfect Jerry focus.
is golden brown from Pro Aquarium.
Go and flash that back up again. It looks a bit like it looks very. It doesn't look. Huh. I like that colour. Good colour.
I thought it was a little bit different, a little bit unique, a little bit of an earthy tone, seeing as these guys have got the blue trousers, the green top, and then the very nice dappled Space Wolf grey cape. The
Good.
stream and text actually is very small. It is awesome. So
Excellent. We are making progress with the technical difficulties.
Yeah, but then you make it entirely worse by having technical difficulties before we even start. So let's not fucking go there, dude. Let's not go there.
So you're still picking away at your dwarves, are you?
Yes, I am. Unfortunately,
Okay.
still
Let's
grinding the axe that is dwarves. Where's my
Oh,
deck tan?
executioner's
bit.
tax. Swing off the axe. Right.
Oh, I very rudely.
What?
Golden brown. How's the texture? Not bad.
Golden brown.
It's Procrel, so it's a bit jelly.
Where's mine? Bada bing, bada boom. So, there we go. So, this is what I bought from North Star. Petrified Men. So, we're getting ready to play Scenario 1 of Wild Woods, for which I need Ranger Fuzz, which, if I show these are not fully assembled yet. David has painted me the Ranger Fuzz. Remind everybody what this miniature range was called, mate. This was a Kickstarter, wasn't it? Spanish guy.
Frost City.
Frost City. So David's printed me 4 Ranger Fuzz to go. I need 2.
And you've now got all your hands.
Yes, with hands. I'm going to need to do a little bit of conversion because I need some javelin throwing ones. But these guys are pretty big. These are 40mm bases that these are on. These resins are pretty big. So I'm going to use like goblin and undead spears from Games
The
Workshop. They should look appropriately javelin sized. The
only thing I will say about them,
yeah.
if you just bring him back into shot, why the fuck has he got burb feet for feet rather than actual hooves?
This is a bit of an odd choice because obviously the North Star ones have reindeer hooves as they are reindeer miniatures. Why these guys basically have like monkey hands for feet seems a little random. Look, they've even got opposable thumbs on their bloody feet. They're a very odd design choice, but the faces are cool and the antlers are amazing. So just to clarify, in Frostgrave, which obviously these are for, there are 3 versions of Rangifers. There are the basic Rangifers, which have a hand weapon, and then there are Rangifers with javelins, and then there are Rangifers that just basically use their close combat hands and antlers. And if you look, these ones, the one on my left has an incredibly thickly nested antler array. So, and David's done me 2 of these, so these will be perfect for the, I think they're called Rangifer Chargers, something like that. But yeah.
Sounds about right.
So we've got 4 of those, but we also have petrified men, which are...
So what are petrified men for those that don't know, Paul?
So petrified men are essentially... They're a cross between a stone golem and a zombie. If you imagine you take a zombie and then stand it in one of these limestone caves in northern Europe for about 100 years, so it just gets coated in limestone, that's what this is. So it's animated like a zombie, but it's got a stone outer shell. And obviously North Star do petrified men miniatures. These were sort of marketed under the Ghost Archipelago label, but they are, you know, sculpted for the game. So I guess they're probably wet undead. They're sort
Nobody likes some wet undead.
They are rocky, but
shut the fuck up.
They're not going to do very well if they're dead.
So yeah, I bought some of these. I bought 4 of these for the scenario. And they are my first official North Star minis. I've not bought any North Star plastics or metals before, so I'm looking forward to painting these. And these are not what we are doing tonight. These are not what we're doing tonight. These are merely what came today in the post. So what I'm planning to do tonight is to get another of my dogs ready. So this is my collection of Dungeons and Doggos miniatures, which I am using for Frostgrave, and obviously quite a few of them are painted up, ready to use, like this one here, but I have a lot that aren't. So what do you guys reckon? This guy with a little feather in his cap seems pretty cool. He's got a fairly...
Be a real tracker.
Well,
you need a tracker miniature.
We do. We need trackers and guides and trophy hunters. Now, I was thinking this St. Bernard with his... I mean, this guy is absolutely laden down with bits and pieces. So I reckon this has got to be a guide of some kind. So we'll pull that out. What else have we got here? This one did seem a little bit encumbered with various accoutrements. So it's a basset hound, I believe. So we could pull that one out. What else do we have in here? These are all a bit armoured. What else have we got?
Oh, I do love an orange dwarven beard. Oh, your camera's died.
Oh. What? Oh. Hang on, guys.
Boys and girls, technical difficulties. Tick that box.
I bet you that's because I've lent on it.
You lent on your camera.
Come on,
What?
come back to life. Oh, God.
Oh, boys and girls, we are consummate professionals here on the Yellow Belly
Ta-da!
Tabletop.
It's
Oh,
in the
now we're
wrong.
sideways.
It's in the wrong orientation, but there we go. We're back. Okay, we fixed it. So, that gives us 2 to start with. I guess that. Oh, of course, my phone is overheating because it's about 4,000 degrees in this room. So I tell you what, we better cut this short before the phone dies yet again, because I bet you that's what happened. Well, I tell you what, that'll give us a starting point. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Let's get away from the... Get away from there. Close that down.
So, boys, girls, and in-betweens, what did we get up to at club this week?
Right.
It's unfortunately, boys and girls, going to be a short one. And the reason it's going to be a short one
Shackles has been game over.
is because me and Paul played the same game, didn't we, mate?
Yes, we did. We actually played a game together, which is getting increasingly infrequent for club night. David and I getting to play against each other. Do you know what? These dog miniatures from Steamforged Games, they are only cheap plastic. They are a bit messy with the old mould lines and cleanup. They're not the most cleanly produced thing, but considering the size of them, I think they've got a great level of detail on them, and they do take paint very well.
One thing
indeed.
I will say of all the Steamforged stuff, like God tier has equally been nice to paint, even though it's soft PVC, and like you say, there's a couple of issues with mold lines and bits and pieces and the such like, but
currently my only God tier, I've still not managed to get them up on the OTT project system, but my only God tier was the I painted some goblins from the red faction, whatever that one's called, and
it wasn't Jack, it wasn't Gene.
it
Who
was
is it? Sneaky Pete.
Sneaky Pete. Yeah, so I painted the Sneaky Pete crew, and they're fine, but fuck me, the details are a bit soft and indistinct. They're not, they're not great, but they're not expensive.
You can tell they're PVC miniatures.
Yeah, but they're not cripplingly expensive as gaming products go. So, do you know what I mean? True. You pay your money, you take your choice. Oh, actually, I will show one other quick thing before we go to club night. Obviously, my first 3D printing project, which was showed off a couple of weeks ago, went very well. So I am now working on the terrain piece for the second mission, which is a large 3-tier sort of Aztec-style pyramid. So I've got step 1 and 2 printed and glued together, and now I just need to print some detail pieces. You won't be able to tell on this shot, but there's insets on this side of this pyramid where you can put like plaques with like decoration on. So I need to either print or model something to go in those gaps, and then I need to print a 3rd tier, and then that's that terrain piece done. And again, it's a nice generic fantasy general purpose terrain piece, which is can't say
better than that.
No, you can't. I must
My
confess.
Computer's complaining that I don't have enough space to download the security updates. Oh well. Fuck off.
Does 3-tier count as B or C in the tiers? Shakos, mate. I'm not cool or a kid, so that means absolutely nothing to me, mate. A 3-tier pyramid is a pyramid with 3 tiers. It's that simple. So, what do we do at club? Well, David quite wanted to try Malifaux. Oh,
I did.
SABC. Oh, is this okay? So this is, I get it. This is what everybody does when they do their tier lists on you. I get it. I see where we are.
It depends if you have an S tier or not, I guess.
Yeah, S is entirely optional. I'm from the 70s, so we don't have S. It's just A to E. I mean, to be fair, these STLs, which are from a creator called GE32 on Cults 3D, I believe it's GE32. I think they're fucking amazing, and I literally haven't had any failures. Nothing has
You
gone
fucking
wrong.
cursed it now.
Everything has printed
It's
flawlessly.
like Beetlejuice, Paul. You don't talk about it, or you summon the failures.
Very funny.
So yeah, we played some Malifaux. Played
Yes.
some third
So
edition
David-
Malifaux.
David
we
wanted
couldn't
to
get
try
all the
Malifaux.
stuff.
And we did. It seemed to make sense with Malifaux 4th edition being in its beta stage playtest to try that. But the problem is they haven't currently released beta cards for most of the models I own in the Bayou faction. So it wasn't going to be practical for us to pay the Malifaux 4th edition beta, which would have been quite cool because we could have given you guys a heads up on what we thought. So what we ended up doing,
insider trading.
what we ended up doing was, I said to David, we'll just play 3rd edition. We played a 30 Soulstone game, which is just over half of a normal full game of Malifaux. We stuck to 3rd edition cards, 3rd edition rules, and it was really just to give David a chance to see if he engaged with the, shall we say, quite fiddly and particular game loop that comes with Malifaux. And what did you think, mate?
Hats off. Absolutely fucking loved it. I do have a question for boys and girls at home, but we'll come to that in a minute because I want to get an answer for definite, because I've got an answer from somebody sat beside me.
Oh,
and I don't like the answer that I got, so I'm going to ask some others.
I'm gonna ask the audience.
So anyway, absolutely love it. It reminds me very much of Fantasy Infinity because of what's going on and the fact that it's quite techy and clunky and everything else. The only
Yeah, it was 4-3 because you just managed to squeak a 3rd point because one of my models that you had to kill had a burning token on him at the end of the turn. I can hear you. No, I haven't.
in the background. Dave sound 1 out of 10.
Okay, yours. I am getting audio for David now. Is anybody else? Talk, mate.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. I'm back, am I?
Oh,
back.
thank fuck.
There we go.
I was going to say I haven't touched anything.
I don't know.
Anyway,
as I was saying, clunky like Infinity, but everything has to activate. Some very nice synergies. The hedge line threw me for the entire 3-game, 3 rounds that we played, and it ended 4-3, didn't it?
yeah, 4-3. In turn 3, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Oh, Christ, don't say that. Actually, do you know what? I am a little bit... No, I got a new PC, obviously, late last year. It's running cool. There's no heat coming off that at all. It's not even breaking a sweat.
It might be my PC just cooking itself away.
Okay, that's fine. It's not my end anyway. So yeah,
But
I think we're both. So as a first taster, you're like, yes, that's fine.
yeah, I'm hooked. I want to have some more of your Malifaux drugs. So much so, I've been listening to the Breachside broadcast this entire week on the way to and from work.
Actually, I could share that for people.
So, for those that...
Let me see if I can bring it up. Right,
I'm
okay.
gone again, apparently.
You're...
Yay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Does that mean every time I
That's-
move focus off this fucking...
On the computer.
Yeah.
This is supposed to not... Right, okay. If David's audio drops out again, then I know why.
It's probably a Paul.
No, I think it's because every time I move focus away from on OBS, it's killing your audio. Now the why it's doing that, I don't know, because it's running in admin mode, so that
It's always a Paul.
it should not do that. But obviously, should not and is not are not the same thing.
Well, I've thrown my fan down there as well to help.
You keep talking,
Distribute.
and if you go quiet, it's
anyway.
my fault.
As I was saying, I'm quite excited for 4th edition. Quite excited to play it. I've been listening to some Breachside broadcast to get up to date on the lore. The best thing today, Paul, on the way to work,
Yep.
I was listening to a story about Colette Dubois.
Okay.
So she will be featuring shortly, who I was interested in playing, but now I'm not so sure. So, my question to the boys and girls at home, and think very carefully about how you answer, because I might end up being beaten, is I currently...
Live on camera too.
I currently
I'm listening.
own a miniature that Paul got me for Christmas, which is a Malifaux Mini in
Just
the...
say one mini.
Yeah, Malifaux Mini
Not the
in the
game.
Arcanist faction for Malifaux.
Not a game, just one
So-
mini.
Does that technically constitute owning the game?
No, it doesn't.
The rules are free online, though. The rules are free
Okay.
online.
It
The
don't
rules are
get-
free online.
No new thing.
It's not a new thing. Paul's got it.
Anyway, let's see what the chat says.
Oh,
No, it does.
it does not.
Half all of you. Have
No.
you not seen the sheer amount of stuff?
Oh my
we've
God.
got?
Cheese me's in agreement with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith.
Oh, world is in agreement. What does
See,
everybody
I
else?
think it counts. I think it counts. And there's another technicality here as well, right? If said item was bought as a gift, does it count? See, he wants
does it count?
He
He-
wants the conversation after all night. All of a sudden,
Cheese me said if I got down.
Oh
on one
my
knee for you,
God.
it might have counted.
yeah, but he hasn't
Shakos
yet.
is creeping. He'd agree with whatever Sam Spam says. Get out. To a cheese me.
Yeah, yeah, I did do what Cheese me put.
Fucking hell, you guys. Oh, dear God.
I think it counts.
Actually, that's quite wise words, Shakos. Quite wise
what?
words. This...
You get a ring, and I'll buy you every miniature you want.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Boys and girls,
Drop the
I'm
mic.
off to the shops to buy some Haribo. You were here to witness. She didn't say which kind.
I'll keep
of
this
ring.
Pepsi can. You can have the
Already
ring
added a
pull off the
hint
top of
what
that.
kind of ring.
Darren's just thinking about pies.
Yeah.
Easy,
Ewok.
easy. Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm really excited actually for some Malifaux 4th.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I don't obviously we did mention it I think last week or the week before you guys. Malifaux 4th edition is just over the horizon. They're going to be in beta for about 2 or 3 months, I think they said. Before
There's some
finalizing everything.
really nice changes as well.
Yeah.
Changes to scoring, removing certain keywords and elements from the game. That's quite nice as well.
I think the game will play faster. It'll play shorter.
Actually, that's a point, Shakos. I'll just go downstairs and get a bag.
Oh. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't count.
It'll. Yeah, like I say, I'm looking forward to the changes myself as well. So yeah, that's what we did at club. Oh my god, no, please. So yeah. Now,
no, because I think I would actually get slapped if I did.
For being, for not the most romantic.
Yes.
Okay, so let me see if we can fix this because it's pissing me off.
I mean, it's romantic. My brother from another mother's in chat.
Oh, right, yeah. Why the fuck is that doing that? That's really annoying.
Because it doesn't like you.
It, yeah, probably some bullshit like that. Right, so the only piece of news we've got is we've got an event coming up this weekend, haven't we?
Have we? I thought you'd forgotten all about it.
No.
Very much like you to forget about events, isn't it, Paul?
Oh,
isn't it, Paul?
Oh my God, let it go.
Can't hold it back anymore.
Oh dear. So yeah. Evening, Toros. I do hope you didn't get fucking bamboozled by the chaotic stream changes. I apologise for that. So yes, Dicini is on in Norwich on Sunday. If anyone is in the area and wants to pop along, it's free entry, 10 till 4. At the forum. It is one of those gaming shows. It's not a massive event. We're not talking Salute UK Games Expo. It's very much a local.
Not even partisan.
Oh, okay. There you look. I'll have a look at those. Oh, as like to go with my Frostgrave shit. Okay,
yes,
nice.
Pandy will be there. I'm 99.9% sure Pandy
I will be
will
bloody
be there.
shocked if Pandy's not there, to be honest.
Babe.
Yeah.
I need like a really dark green. Like glass bottle green.
Oh.
So yes, we're both looking forward to that. It'll be our sort. We're probably going to try and film some footage, do some interviews. As I say, it's
Is there reflective up there?
It had some nice things at it last time we went. There was some very interesting local gaming club events.
Where we got Drowned Earth the other year.
I don't get that. I'm assuming that's an Irish J. Is that because? Oh my God! What the hell was that?
My vibrator,
vortex
Paul.
mixer. Oh my God.
Oh no.
What's that? Remember, no new. Oh, Dice Northern Ireland. Oh my god. I get it. Okay, yep. Well done, Taros. Spot on, mate. No, it's not in Northern Ireland. It's in Norfolk. Begins with Nor.
Look at the.
That front bit is metal to cleave through your enemies.
It's got a prow.
It's got a prow.
So yeah, there you go. I hope we may have. Well, we'll definitely have some chat about what went on at the show next week. So there's a spoiler for you with what next week's topic going to be.
There will be some news,
and there might even be a video, depending on what footage we get and how quickly I get it edited, because I don't have any extra time off work, so I've got to squeeze it into a normal working week. So it might be a couple of weeks before I get that sorted. But yeah, that's really our only bit of news.
Oh, Paul, genius idea.
Yeah, it's definitely closer for us, James. It's only about an hour for us.
We could do a Dicey Partisan combo to go live the week that we won't give the audience anything and we're at UKGE.
Oh, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Have those videos drop on that weekend if I schedule them. Like you say, because we're going to miss the live stream on the Thursday before UKGE. Do you know what? It's not just a pretty face, is he? That's actually quite a good idea.
I have got a thinking cap. I never fucking use it, but I have got a thinking cap, boys and girls.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to sort of like crash or needed any help with logistics, James, and wanted to go, just give us a ping. We'll sort something out. I've got a spare room, or a couch. You're welcome to stay with here and me and the missus. If you wanted to break it up, but yeah, as I say, offer stands obviously. So that's it. As I say, that's pretty much it for news. We don't have anything else. No, Darren.
Just Darren one.
He wanted to know if there would be a Brokeback Expo live cover from the room bloody broadcast.
No, because the last time we tried to do a live from the room broadcast, it literally looked like we were filming porn.
And what's worse, I was quite okay with the hotel staff thinking that we were filming porn. What upset me most was the fact that when I uploaded it, the audio went out of sync on like a 15-minute video or whatever it was, which I think was because I was trying to render it on what is essentially a Casio calculator from the 1980s. It was a shit.
My laptop.
Yeah. So.
Was it my laptop we tried to render it
no,
on?
it was mine.
Yours?
It was mine. Yours might have worked better, but I don't know.
Why have these dwarves got so much shit all over them?
What? Too much detail?
They've got a lot of bottles.
So we've got 20 minutes. So I'm going to put paint on some miniatures here.
Boys and girls, any news that we should be looking at? Any news that we missed?
When you go use it as like the Enterprise visiting a primitive planet, so you have to dress. That's fucking funny. Yes. It looked like you were filming porn and you weren't, says Cheesy. No, Cheesy, oddly enough, we weren't.
Paul's got a face for radio, not for porn.
Filming his face.
See, Shakos, I can bring my laptop as long as I avoid the filming. So you're saying your assets are overstretched? Oh my god.
Actually,
Fucking
I
hell.
want boys and girls' opinion.
Ah, dear. Yeah, go
Shut
on.
up. I'm not going for yet more fucking content. Right. Come down to the camera.
Oh my god. I said I was going to try and paint. No, you're not, Paul. You're going to
No,
be
you're going to
fucking.
do your
You're going to
job and
be
you're going to be
David's
a fucking
lackey.
host.
God damn.
Boys and girls, we have a dwarf here. When she focuses, if she focuses. I need to paint the shield. What colour do I paint that shield detail? Do I do it bronze or do I do it metal? And then my other question is, what colour do I do their helmets and lanterns? Do I do them steel or do I do them brass and bronze and stuff? They're not having fucking Santa hats. They are dwarves that are down the mines.
I can't even believe you even went there, mate. What did you expect you were going to get? A sensible answer, you mad lad.
I was hoping so.
Yeah, how naive were you? I mean, my 2 cents, I think the orange and earth tones are starting to get a bit overwhelming. I think you need to back off with some neutral metallics. That's my 2 cents. Feel free
So
to.
just more steel.
Yeah.
Steel for days. Okay. That's mahogany brown. Yes, that's the colour you wanted. Have you washed your brush out lately?
Yes, I have actually.
As I say,
Yellow
I don't know
harder.
what the guys in the chat think, but I think you've got enough colour represent on that model to back off a bit.
Yeah. We'll see. Right, I'm done now. You can be my lackey and turn me off.
Do you know what? That's not a stupid shout. A bluish steel. Have you got a very bluish metallic?
I've got gunmetal blue.
I mean,
It's...
Shakos says that's probably. Do you know what? As shouts go, you know. Not bad.
Let's go back to Brush Rage and turn on my miners because I've been going for 4 hours and I want these guys off the desk. Oh, Paul hasn't turned it off. I'm sorry, boys and girls.
Oh, sorry. I was
Sorry to give you
painting,
motion
which I
sickness.
did announce to the streamer I would be doing. Gunmetal might.
Yeah, but I did tell you.
I totally get that, Shakos. I mean, I know where the suggestion was coming from, sir, and I think it was very smart. Because like I say, and the other thing that's really smart about it is just as a visual. You know how just glancing at something gives you an impression. My impression of the miniature, as David was like just turning it under the light there, was that the oranges were in the dominance. So to recalibrate that back into the blues with a cool blue metallic is a very good shout, I think. A very good shout.
Blue metallic edges and details
Here
on
we
the...
go. Here we go. Here
trim.
come the sensible suggestions. You could paint all of them like doozers from Fraggle Rock.
Who? What?
Do you even know what a doozer is?
It's before my time.
Even though it's my nickname, he doesn't know what it is. It will surprise nobody because obviously I was born in that era. That was my nickname at school, Doozer. Hence my moniker now, which is Warboss D, because the D is shortened from Doozer.
The more you know. Sorry, did I just have to get a meme in there?
Oh, that was fucking very well done. Very well done. Oh dear. So we haven't had anybody say they're hobbying tonight. Not even the normally ubiquitous Darren. So,
Are you just seen Cheese Me's comment?
well, what's he said?
Could be deep something else.
Well, I want you to read it aloud for everyone at home.
Excuse me. So not D for do. Oh dear. Oh, James is being a filthy hobby bastard tonight. He's got a ghoul. Oh, you are filth. Get out. Get out. So what did Games Workshop tempt you with then,
Shakash,
James?
you know the offer that
Ewoks
stood
painting
for...
Soviets. I'm guessing Ewok. This is a complete guess, but does that involve any Russian uniform by any chance?
And Iraqi sand.
A book on castles. What, real ones? Fantasy ones? Darren? Book on castles. That's intriguing. Taurus has just finished dinner. What, painting it, Taurus, or eating it?
Anyway, how's your little sushi kit going?
Hey?
How's your little sushi kit going?
Do you know what? I'd never thought to give everybody an update on that. So I'm trying to do a little bit of work each weekend. This weekend just gone, I assembled the best part of the restaurant. So I got all of the downstairs furniture in, the chairs, the first sort of like level of walls. I built the porch and installed, because obviously it's got a ton of LED lights in it. So I've installed the porch lights.
Fucking hell, it's like an entire DIY weekend.
It is an absolute fucking monster of a hobby kit. Okay, when you next time you come over to mine, you'll be able to see it. But it is absolutely fucking mad, lad. So basically, I've got the first floor done of the main building, because there's more than the main building. There's also like a pagoda sort of shrine thing in the garden as well. Yeah.
No,
So
Trevor, I'm on stream.
progress is being made, but it is slow. I don't want to open that. Oh, actually, I do want to open it, but let me open this.
Actually, we've got a little bit of time to fill and pad, right?
Yeah.
I just want to talk about, and I know we mentioned it briefly.
Yeah.
But this current Malifaux situation.
You're not going over.
Shut up. Get back in your box. So, Malifaux. It's currently 3rd edition. We're going to 4th at some point, probably around September.
Yeah.
Obviously. Game until the new stuff comes out. That's what I'm just asking. I'm not saying I'm going to go out and spend like 75 quid at UK Games Expo on the Wayland stand buying a Malifaux faction.
You're gonna though, aren't you?
Probably yes.
This is why I'm never invited. For the antics that happen in the hotel room and seeing the amount of money that you spend.
What was it when we first got together that I said to you that I managed to go through £1,000 in a weekend?
£1,000 in a weekend, not including the hotel room.
Yeah, £1,000 in the weekend, not including the hotel room.
Okay, guys, it is every time I go away from. Every time my computer moves focus off OBS, your audio dies.
Yay, that's really fucking high quality streaming you have there then, sir.
But that must be a Windows thing. So, okay, that's...
Can I have the metal boom?
Yeah. Okay, guys, that means that I basically can't leave this screen.
That was like
is...
spam hit the mute button. We just caught. I'm not saying we're going to spend some 75 quid at Wayland.
Yeah.
Somebody's just sent you a message. It's a Paul thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, look, my metallic blue's oozing everywhere. Oh no.
You can touch it.
Oh dear. The problem is
I remember this blue.
That's pretty.
God damn it. God damn you, OBS. I shall have to see if there's an OBS update. Maybe I'm behind on my OBS updates. I don't know. It's never done it before. David's never fallen silent when I've been operating.
Is it a Windows 11 patch thing?
It could be, because there was one the other week, wasn't there? I don't know. And obviously it is a Windows focus issue. As soon as I change the priority on the Windows, it's obviously modifying what outputs that fucking OBS is using. Or, I mean, the only other thing, I tell you what else it might be. Here's a shout. Chrome recently had a massive update, and obviously I'm running the Video Ninja room, aren't I?
Yeah.
So, is it some fucking bullshit with that? Oh, fucking the joys of bloody live streaming.
Anyway, stop trying to diagnose and fault find.
Let me just make sure what's up and what's not up. So, yeah, we've got 5 minutes to go. Yeah, so what do you guys reckon to what David said about old editions? Are we all people who move on to new editions at the drop of a hat? Or, you see, now I want to go back and scroll back in the chat, but I can't, because if I do, David will lose his audio. Oh my god! Let me have a look. Yeah, no, that's fine. When you were talking, I just went away just to test it, and it kills your audio completely. Talk again.
Hello,
Yeah.
1, 2,
Okay,
3.
great. We're now trapped in a fucking OBS void. Fantastic. Okay, that's going to make this very interesting.
Well, yeah. I'll just have to interact and read chat.
Oh, so in that case then, as you don't know what David would say, that explains a lot, because obviously you were completely muted. What David was asking was, obviously, we intended to try 4th edition Malifaux because there didn't really seem a lot of a point to David giving 3rd a lot of attention because the new edition's coming out. And he wondered whether you guys felt the same. Are you the kind of people that when a new edition hits, you move on like at the drop of a hat, like the old edition is dead to you? Or do you have a different philosophy? Do you sort of move when you're ready to move? Do you, think, fuck it, why should I move, and only update if you feel real pressure to do so? What does everybody think? Oh! What? Go on, Ewok. Go into more detail. What was the one thing you didn't like in the other version?
That sounded spicy. What wattage was that fucker at? That would be why it sounds spicy.
Because to be fair, I was actually thinking about this. I was thinking about doing a review of the 2nd edition. And
a comparison.
Doing a comparison video of what's changed, a little bit of a summary video. Because to be fair, there's quite a lot of new shit in the new edition. It's not, you know, let's put it this way: there's more changes from Burrows and Barrows second,
Well, now we know it's not Paul.
than Frostgrave first to second, if that makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah, that is a good shout actually. Moving on, particularly if the edition before had a pet peeve. I'll tell you the other thing before we get into our main topic as well. When we were playing Malifaux, David did comment on the Moonstone thing. And I think you now get where I was coming from, don't you, mate?
Yeah. So, Moonstone seems very faffy for the sake of being very faffy. There are faffs and technicalities to Malifaux, like, again, placing fucking scheme tokens and resetting your deck, but you're only resetting your deck at the end of rounds. You have more control as a player because you've got card draw effects, you've got fucking cheat effects, stuff like that.
The whole card mechanic thing seems much more...
And again, let's just put it into context here. We both played 3 rounds. I never once saw a Joker from my deck. Paul, on the other hand, saw both Jokers on turns 2 and turns 3.
Yeah.
Might have had something to do with how I was attacking you and making you fucking milk your deck, though.
Yeah, your faction was actually causing me to churn through my deck a lot. But it did mean...
Actually, here's 2 cents.
Yep.
Question. How did you think I played one, considering it was my first game?
I think you did really well. I think to get like a 4-3 draw for your first demo game, particularly when I felt I had the stronger faction, I think you did really well, mate. So Ewok says the way each species was a troop type, I wanted a warband of otters, but that would make for a lousy warband.
Toros Spam is painting Armada. See the top of the show where we showed it off. Painting salamanders for Armada. Whose idea was it for Gunmetal Blue? Because fuck me, dudes.
That was James. Was it a good shout?
Yeah, I'll show you all at the end. I don't know whether to do the helmets in this or not.
I must confess, I haven't made it to warbands yet and the different animal types. I'm still in the basic rules. But so what is it? What have they done differently then? Can you now take otters? Can you vary what otters are?
Otters are different classes, I guess.
I'm not seeing that in here. It seems... Do you know what, mate? I hadn't seen that. The warband building looks very similar.
You melting, babe.
No, it's just getting anything.
In Yorkshire mode, I tend to wonder how much it costs. BA3 it's not expensive worth by some games. While not a cash grab, it's an expensive. Yeah. I'll be honest. If you'd have asked me this question 2 years ago, I'd have said I always update to the new edition. Yeah, probably 2 years ago I'd have said that. But bizarrely enough, I'd always made an exception for Dungeons and Dragons. So like Dungeons and Dragons has gone through loads of revisions and new editions, and I've never moved on from playing the OG Beckme system.
I think the difference is, though, Paul, and just hear me out, games like Infinity and Malifaux that have an integrated app, you don't really have a choice.
No, that is true. That is true. So, yeah, I mean, unless you really want to do things on hard mode, you really have to buy into Malifaux with the app, because there's so much, and it's a bit like Infinity. So much of the game is run by and revolves around the app. Not going with the update is actually a fucking nightmare. That is a fair point. That is a very fair point. Do you know what, Ewok? I hadn't realised that. That sounds super fucking cool. So apparently creatures can have classes as well as their species. Do you know what? It's amazing the sophistication that he's added to that game. I really was okay with the way it was, to be fair. I wonder if I'll find it's a little bit too rigmarole. I wonder if we're going down Moonstone territory, where we're making something that was light and fast and accessible complicated for complicated's sake.
I think it might still be light and fast and accessible. It
That's
just
fair,
might take you a
Taros.
little longer to build a warband.
Taros says that's a red card for him. He won't play a game if it's app driven. Fair enough, mate. I must confess, I don't like it. I prefer, and like with Malifaux, I print myself off character sheets because I've got a laser printer at home. I don't like playing games on the app. Pretty much the only game I play on the app is Infinity, but even then, I'd rather not. It's just that I can't be bothered to make myself up unit cards. Is a motivation issue, but I probably should do, because it does piss me off playing on the app. You know, they are a great way to deliver tools to players, because obviously there's no overhead on it. But I prefer print and paper and pen. You know, even if it's like dry white markers and a piece of paper in a plastic pocket page thing. I'm sure you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, punch sleeve.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we get all biblical?
Sins and virtues.
It's 5 minutes late.
Yeah, come on, let's do it. Well, I think we were quite happy to run a relaxed timeline for this, because it's a bit of a waffly one again. It is getting increasingly hard to think of topics, but do you know what? We'll roll with it. When David mentioned it, I thought, oh, sounds cool. So,
yeah, I don't really know how I came up with it, to be fair.
Something.
I just I think I was listening to a Snarling Badger podcast, and he said something about virtues in wargaming, and I latched onto that.
Oh, okay. And
then ended up here, where we are.
Before we get into it, I just want to share some of the brilliance from the On Tabletop Discord. I'm not going to be able to... you're going to have to keep quiet for a minute, because otherwise your audio is going to die. And I'm not quite sure how the fuck I'm going to fix that. Thinking about it. That's a little bit stressful. But hey ho. Let's. So obviously, as part of the On Tabletop community, I post the starter sets sometimes not selling the best of the game. Do you know what we should actually? And in fact, when David gets waffling in a minute, I will put that on our list of topics, because if I don't add it to my note list, we will forget. Thank you, James. So, as a member of the On Tabletop Discord, I always post a link to the stream in there. And I just want to shout out Toros here. So, playing skirmish games on round bases with plastic figures. Okay, that's the sins covered. Fucking brilliant. James Shakos says foot on rock. Biggest sin going. Oh dear. And then somebody here goes, was it 3D printing? Yeah, somebody says 3D printing. I forget who was it who said that? I can't remember who said it or where they said it, but somebody said, oh, here we go. Now that's a sin, 3D printed miniature. So that was Amma-chan. So yes, right, okay, mate, I'm back. There is a point to you talking now.
I was just going to say about the sin of foot on rock.
Yeah.
Does that count in Marvel's Crisis Protocol for those that have got like their foot up on a jetpack or a wrecked car? Just saying, you can't be discriminatory against rocks.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, even Games Workshop have got some extremely daft ideas about what the fuck to put people to put their legs up on. But yeah, it as I say, I just thought there were some great shouts there, like 3D printing. You could tell where the grognards are. Let's make a note of James's topic idea. Starter sets. Not showing best.
So yeah, this came about sort of as a random thought that sort of struck me in the ether, sort of a comment from God, so to speak, about how to be more virtuous and how to be more sinning in my war games. So we ruminated on it a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
We took some confessions last night. We're getting all biblical up in this joint right now.
David did it dressed as a nun.
And Paul had the smoke sensors on in the background because they confused him for the new Pope.
So yeah, shall we start with a sin?
Do we start with the good or do we start with the bad? What do the boys and girls at home want?
It's us. We got to start with the bad.
Well, no, if we're going to start with anything, you better just kill stream now because technical difficulties.
Now I'm just... Oh, my God. Why did you make me laugh at that moment? That was really rude.
You just snort.
Yes, he did just snort.
Fuck. Okay, right, I'll have to repaint that. Okay. I see how that's gone. Knob.
Love you, Ginge.
Yeah, let's go with the sin. First of all, we're going to call this sin the sin of inconstancy. Or the sin of continual change. And this, funnily enough, this feeds into one of the comments that was said earlier about, I think it was Ewok said about the rate of change or the amount of change between editions in a game. First of all, before we get into it, obviously David and I bitch, moan and groan about war games, particularly, but that all tabletop games can be a bit gear grinding in their own way. That's role-playing games and board games as well. But when we came to do this topic, we wanted to really focus on the things for us that are like absolutely, they're either going to stop us playing a game or they are so, in the case of sins,
they're gonna turn us off so much that we'll still be bitching about it 4 years later, looking at you, Xeogenesis.
I mean, to be honest, for me, I think the sins are the kind of things that will make me walk away from something. And by the same token, the virtues will probably make me forgive that game any other foible.
They're the stuff that will make you stay.
Yeah, regardless of whether I think it's a good idea or not, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But as I say, for me, the first and the biggest sin.
Fucking hell, Toros's comment.
Why? What's he said?
It's a greying hobby. There will be some incontinence.
So yeah, inconstancy and continual fucking change. Obviously, without me saying it, we all know exactly who I'm referring to, and there is really
I don't even think you're just referring to them necessarily.
Well, do you know what? My next statement was going to be, because in this fantastic, broad, and enjoyable hobby of ours, there is only one manufacturer that indulges in this sort of bullshit where you literally feel like everything's built on quicksand, and that is Games fucking Workshop. I still didn't see what James said he was actually building that was GW kit.
Can I just throw you under a bus there?
Go on then. Who's the second
say
one?
If we're including CCGs, can we mention Hasbro?
Yeah. To be fair, actually, we're not including. I would never include CCGs because actually, I've reached that point in my life where I won't play CCGs precisely because they are designed to be cyclical. You get maybe a year or 2 years use out of what you spend your money on, then everything moves on, and I'm not doing that ever again. I've done it, but I do see what you're trying to say. But for me, it's like it doesn't even. I suppose it does qualify for this because again, it backs up exactly what I was saying a minute ago. The inconstant.
That's not what I wanted.
I love card games, and I will still play my old dead card games. I will happily play my old dead card games with anybody who will give me the time to do so. But what I will not do is buy the current fucking Magic the Gathering sets and rotations and all that shit.
No, we'll occasionally dabble on a new Commander deck. I think
good choice, Shakos.
Last year was the first time that we didn't buy a new Commander deck in about 3 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's because I've got enough Commander decks. I don't really want any more, and if I do want any more, I'm going to buy them as singles and make my own Commander decks. Build them, not buy them. Do you know what? That's a good comment, Toros. And I do think, we should all be a bit cautious of this. So Toros says the constant change seems to be a growing business plan for more companies. Funnily enough, David and I were talking about another stream topic that revolved around a very similar idea about what is becoming normal business practice, and it's a really difficult one, mate, because I can totally understand why businesses like you to grind through things. They like you to be constantly moving on to the next big thing because
buying new, getting on with new.
Yes, because they need you to keep investing in their company so that they can keep a living. And I totally empathize, but ultimately as well, I'm a selfish consumer, and I want the maximum reward for the minimum expenditure.
Yeah.
And if a company, do you know what I mean? I can totally understand why a company would want to do it, and I will be charitable to a point. But if they, you've got to be so careful, because as soon as I feel that I'm on a fucking mouse wheel, because the thing is as well, it's that you have that moment where you're spending money and you just think, I'm buying this because I have to, not because I want to.
I'll tell you the other thing. I don't even necessarily think it has to be related to buying new stuff.
No, that is very fair.
I think some of this could be about chasing the meta and policing a meta by making rules changes to a game, and then it doesn't work, so you knee-jerk change some more shit, and then that didn't work, so you knee-jerk change some more shit. Take a step back, look at the entire picture, and stop changing everything every 5 minutes in the hope that it fixes something. You've got to give it some time, look at it statistically and properly from an engineering point of view, and then make a decision, not just go, oh, well, my shit's changed before I've even actually got the brand new book in hand.
Yeah.
And we all know who the fuck I'm talking about when I mention that.
Well, bizarrely enough, I think Privateer Press did that with War Machine.
War Machine.
Because,
and again, it was so bad with War Machine. People were not even playing with miniatures. They were playing with bases.
But I mean, referring particularly to the changing and erratering things before there was any kind of stable play environment to really test whether there were counters in there. You'll hear Ash Barker on Guerrilla Miniature Games talk about this on several of the talking head pieces he's done, because obviously he's used to play a lot of War Machine, and he's quite openly said Privateer were just far too quick to change shit. And Games Workshop have been through a period of the same. They don't let things breathe. They don't give players room to try and sort out problems. They don't give the meta an opportunity to find its own level. They just reach for the fucking... Yeah. So they reach for the errata document like at the drop of a hat. But do you know what? You're dead right, because this stuff can piss me off and exclude me from a game even without there being money to spend. A good example is 40k. I own a ton of 40k, and because of slightly morally questionable websites like Wahapedia, I don't even need to buy any of the books and or codexes and or bullshit. I can just build my army lists using the Wahapedia stuff. But the problem is, even if I do that, everything changes all the fucking time. Literally, the once or twice a year I play 40k. The once or twice a year I play 40k, I have to redo my list from scratch every fucking time. Because all the points values are different, and all the rules are different, and all this is different, and the fucking... Do you know what I mean? And I haven't had to spend any money, but I have had to spend a fucking load of time preparing for every game.
One thing I will say, and I know we just ragged on app-based gameplay, but this is where the likes of the Infinity and Malifaux apps are really good, because it updates for free in the background, and because you're using the tool that is provided, you don't have to do as much of the legwork. Like, you've still got to read up what new rule does when you click on it on the wiki article.
Yeah.
But you don't actually have to put it on your printout and find it out and everything else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Shako says, I think what you're explaining is as much a problem as the players as the company. What do you mean, mate? The constant fucking
Yeah. No.
change. I mean, yeah. I mean that is true. Like the laddies. Yeah, the meta chasing. Yeah, I mean, fucking hell. That's something else as well. I mean, far be it from me to yuck anybody's yum or to take other people's fun away, but
Why?
miniature war, this whole competitive thing with games, I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? If you
And more on that in a minute with the other sins.
Yeah.
Should we do a virtue?
Yeah, let's because I think we've pretty much covered everything here that needs covering. And as I say, anything that changes too fast is like out for me. Because this is a leisure activity. It's not a job. I don't get paid to do it. I'm not going to put fucking time in on the clock to keep up to date. So, should we go for a virtue? Let's make the wrong button. Right, let's make things a little bit lighten the mood a tad. So mate, which one do you want to do first?
I'm not first. I actually genuinely can't remember from the conversation we had last night. So you might have to announce
So we've
it,
got
and then I can
accessibility.
Run with it. Let's do accessibility actually, because it's quite a good counterpoint to what we've just been speaking about.
It is actually almost the flip side.
Yeah.
Because this was the other thing that we found was quite difficult when we were planning this stream, guys, and I don't know what you think. What we didn't want to do was have 3 positives and 3 negatives that were literally just the mirrors of each other's. But frankly, I suppose there are some elements of crossover with this and the constant change, sort of. But bear with us. So what do you reckon?
So when we're talking about accessibility in a game, we're talking about rules layout, how easy they are to read, how well presented they are. And I'm not talking about diamond level polish on things for presentation, because it can be a man in a back workshop knocking a book out. But if it's laid out properly and effectively for communicating your point and the rules across, it's excellent, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it can be a privately produced PDF that's free to download. But if it's laid out well and readable and usable as a games document, then it that goes a long way to making a game accessible. If somebody can use the rules to play
if there's an
the
index
game.
in the rules,
How about that
so
for a mad idea? You can use the rules to play the game correctly. Wow.
Index and quick find elements.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought it? Again, is your book a 400-page behemoth when it could actually be condensed down to 50 pages? Because 100 of those pages that are in that book are lore, and nobody really gives a tinker's jizz about the lore. Why is that not as a separate art book?
Space Weirdos is a good example of this. So it's what? It's a particularly well laid out rule book. Is it Ewok? I mean, so rules is a big part of accessibility. But accessibility is multi-dimensional. Ultimately, one of the things that I guess with this umbrella term, what we're going to talk about is any
touch point between you and your game.
Yeah, it's like this. Ultimately, right, you could come up with a really clever really unique game, but unless you really concentrate on getting shit out of the way so that people can engage with it easily, you're pretty much, your good idea is going to die on the vine. And, you know, there,
It's a tough one.
like,
Where you going with this, mate?
I'm trying to think of how to put this, and I'm trying to think of examples of games where just the fact that the game is so effortless to get in. It was so effortless to get into and play. Do you know what? Probably the first
Frostgrave.
example, that is exactly what I was going to suggest. For me, probably the epitome of this is Frostgrave.
How easy? There's like what? Do you have to remember?
Not
6 or
only is
7
the rule
modifiers?
system really stripped down and dead easy to get into, the book is cheap and it is available fucking everywhere. Every clearance bookstore, every fucking hobby and game store. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then when you've bought the book,
it's ubiquitous, really, isn't it?
yeah, it is ubiquitous. I mean, I'm sure it obviously it was like a what it is, self-fulfilling prophecy. So as the game got more successful, it got to be more and more and more and more ever present everywhere. So I'm sure there's an element of it probably was harder to get at the beginning. But I mean, you buy the book, then
it's mini agnostic. So
what else do you need to do?
Some D20s? Oh, you've probably got them from when you had an RPG one time.
Yeah. You need some miniatures. Anything in particular? No, just some miniatures. Do you know what I mean?
You need a wizardy type, an apprenticey type, and some fighty types.
Yeah.
What fighty types do you want? Don't really care. Just have them fighty and make sure you know what's what.
Yeah. I mean, I can, remember when we first started playing Frostgrave. It was almost like you could fall into it. It was so easy to pick up and start playing.
You can kind of sleepwalk into it
with
how good the game is.
I just rounded up some old Orc and Goblin miniatures I'd owned from the 80s, put a bit of cheap snow effect on the bases. We drew up our war bands. We got some generic fantasy miniatures that we'd had kicking around forever. We didn't worry about specific terrain. We didn't even worry about the snow thing initially, did we? We just used whatever terrain we'd got. And the game just sings. It absolutely sings. And
it just works, and it works well.
If you can pull that off, it's like something that's becoming very popular now is these print your own games, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, let's use.
Loot have just done one, haven't they? Malediction.
Yeah, but I mean, how many of these print your own games do you have? Bloodfields, Spectrum Dominance, FSD.
Yeah. What's the other one?
The Cowboy Gemstone one.
Star Scrappers Battle Drill.
Scrappers Battle Drill. I mean, that's just 3. And these are games where you basically print all of the assets to play for yourself. You don't need to buy anything once you've got some STLs.
No, you've got a PDF, and then you, like you say, you just print out your assets.
The Torch and Light Dwarf board game you won.
Torch and Shield, yeah.
What's this about? American published rule sets in the UK like Fire and Fury. It was a shock to the system to see full colour pics and clear diagrams of examples of play. Simple, low-cost layout, but works. Short rule, flexible and fun. Oh, this is Space Weirdos. That's what, bizarrely enough, Shakos and Sprues is using the Guru miniatures, the Games Workshop miniatures, for the Space Weirdos. I'll have to have a look at
Fair
this. Uncle Atom absolutely raves about it. It marries itself well to RPG system. He's used it for a Red Shoots and Stormtroopers game. Yeah, my point was going to be about these print and play games, mate. And I was going to ask you, because obviously you're the 3D digital guy, right?
Yes.
Do you actually get them to the table?
Bloodfields, I haven't yet got to the table. Full Spectrum Dominance, I haven't yet got to the table. And I think part of it is there isn't... I'm a very social creature. I require somebody to help and encourage me. Half the reason right now I'm painting my dwarves is because I've got a game factored against Paul next month. Or this month, actually, because it's the 1st of May, isn't it?
It is.
For Oathmark. So that's what, 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away?
Not long.
Not long away, anyway.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm trying to blast through it. And I'm also going to be doing an intro game for Luke at Club at some point soon as well. So this is why I'm blasting through this. Star Scrappers, similarly. I did a faction for me. I did a faction for Ricky. We played it. We played 2 or 3 games of it. And then it's kind of got parked because we've got onto other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But again, because nobody else is there wanting to play or encouraging me to print out a couple more sets, etc., do some work on it because they want to play and they want to see, for example, it gets parked. Like Bloodfields, again, I had the Bloodfield stuff. I just did not trust 3D printed dice. Therefore, it took me 2 and a bit years because of the Great Plague and everything else to actually get some Bloodfields dice. Have I used those Bloodfields dice for a game of Bloodfields? Oh, no. I've used them for objective markers in Flames of War and several other things, but not actually their intended use.
Yeah. And do you know what I thought this represented was, on paper, a totally digital game where you can print and make every asset for the game yourself, even the terrain, isn't actually that accessible when it comes to it. Because...
No, because you're not factoring in your time or the effort it takes to...
But also, nobody can share that burden with you unless they also have a 3D printer and the experience. Yeah. Even if you were to share the digital assets with them, naughty. Do you know what I mean?
All blocks coming in with the thing there, Midgard. We might have to have a look at Midgard at Partisan.
Yeah, we talked to the guy who did it at Partisan last year, and it does look like a brilliant system. The thing that I most liked the look of out of Midgard was because you guys know I'm a rules guy, that fact that you could, your victory points could be spent in game so that you push your win further away, but you might need to do that to stay in the game. I really liked the sound of that.
And the fact that it could be used to call time if the game ends early. Do you know what I mean? If you don't get through a full-time game, right, well, we'll just play to the end of this round and then we'll just look at what's in the cup then, boys and girls.
Yeah. That was the bit that most intrigued me about Midgard. As I say, I don't like the super flexible use any miniatures things just because of that. I like the rules need to engage me as well, but that did seem very cool. So yeah, accessibility. It's a bit of a nebulous one, and it can incorporate a lot of things. It can incorporate costs in time, costs in money, just distribution and availability of your rulebook, cards, miniatures, whatever.
Ewok, note that I said look, not buy. I said look.
Fucking hell. We're all being put under pressure here. So
did you see? I looked with my hands and my eyes. I didn't put hands into wallet.
Let's do
right.
another sin.
What are we sinning about now, boy?
So this is a sin that really has nothing to do with people who make, design, and distribute games. And this we're going to call the abuse of the social contract.
Oh,
So,
we're going with the big one. The big one.
Yeah, and actually I've thought of something to add to this. Now, by this, we mean everything from being a bad sportsman to cheating.
Curb stomping your brand new opponent.
Yeah, well, that's sort of bad sportsmanship, but more, I mean, cheating, which is worse than bad sportsmanship, obviously. Just being a miserable twat is one thing, but actually being a cheating miserable twat is something completely different.
Not focusing on the game.
I think if we didn't make the point hard enough last week, this is a social hobby, okay? Because we sort of called out that the most important thing, I think it was last week's stream, that the most important thing. Yeah, I'm
pretty sure it was.
The most important thing in the game is the person standing the other side of that table, playing the game with you. And I tell you what, if there's one thing that's going to make me walk away from a gaming group or a gaming individual or a game itself, is when the people in it do this, abuse the social contract, so they're just fucking rude. They treat me and my time with contempt. Do you know what I mean?
Or again, you're there, you're playing the game, but then it later transpires, like you say, and you've touched on already, fucking cheating rolls, or it sounds petty, but inch creeping in certain games is fucking huge and matters.
Yeah. I tell you, and another thing that really pushes me away is like ridiculous proxying.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is people who don't invest in the actual miniatures for the actual fucking game. So you're trying to play a game of, I don't know, Warhammer Fantasy Battles with them, and they're pushing their Necrons at you, and you're like, what the fuck are they supposed to be? Well, they're skeletons. No, they're fucking not, mate. Don't take the piss.
First game as a demo game can probably understand. It's when it gets to the second, third, and fourth game of it that it's like, come on now, this is a bit bad, isn't it?
Yeah. Because again, it's about how invested in this are you? You know, really. You know, let's just have a frank conversation. If you can't be bothered to buy the toys, why are you even doing this?
Is this gonna sound and come across a little bit petty? But like borrowing rule books when there's perfectly serviceable web app or website for information and that kind of thing as well.
Do you know what? I'll cut that more slack, mate. Because ultimately, the problem with the miniatures thing is it breaks the immersion on the table, and it comes down to, if you're too tight to buy a rulebook or whatever, and you want to borrow one, or you use an online asset or whatever, then that's fine. I don't really care, because you're not really impinging other people's social contract or enjoyment. But when you start to put any old tut, it's like you said, you called it earlier with the War Machine thing, people just putting bases down. It's like, no, just stop. You are not putting a series of black fucking discs on the table and then telling me that we are playing a game. You can stick it up
Yeah,
your
nobody
arse.
minds if you've already got some War Machine models, and so long as the base sizes are okay, you proxy them for something else because you're looking at trying a list before you actually go out and buy the stuff. It's a commitment at the end of the day. Nobody's going to begrudge you that.
That
It's
is
like
fair.
you say, using a base to represent a fucking warjack and line of sight and everything else is completely different because it's a fucking flat, circular, black plastic disc.
Yeah.
Ewok coming in here with James. It's a new system though, and then wait, you can war game without sex forfeits. Nobody told me.
I'm assuming you're talking about James from James M. Hewitt.
Ewok. Shakos says James is Ace. I think that's in regards to
It's got to
Midgard.
be. Oh, that James. Okay, right.
Yeah. Shakos says breach of social contract shall be punishable by paying the bar tab. No, breach of social contract shall be punishable by never playing a game with me ever a fucking again.
I mean, Shakos has also just basically echoed what you said, and I think that is a fair enough. When somebody is learning a game for the first time, although to be fair, when somebody's playing their first couple of games, particularly if you're the one teaching them, just lend them your fucking miniatures. Don't be so precious. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, can I just throw a fucking curveball in here?
Yeah.
In similar vein to teaching games and everything else and board games.
Yeah.
If I've got a board game and it's sleeved, but there's miniatures and everything else, and I've painted the miniatures, please don't put your greasy fucking kebab soaked fucking mitts all over it, please.
That's fair. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's a little bit hardcore even for me. I am quite relaxed about shit like that.
No, but again, it's in a similar vein, like hooking dice across the table, smashing up perfectly.
That's that's different.
Good.
I mean, again, I've seen people play where they literally throw things across a table because they think they're being dramatic and or funny, or they're just doing it out of anger because something's just happened that they didn't like. That pisses me off. Just having, dirty hands because you've just been eating snacks. Yeah, fine. Do you know what I mean? We're here to relax and enjoy ourselves. But being a dick is not part of enjoying yourself. And if it is, fuck that. Do you know what? One thing, this comes back to what we said at the beginning. I cannot think of an example where this sort of breach of social contract bullshit has been enough or bad enough for me to walk away from a game forever and then never play it again. Just for this reason. But to be honest, that's probably because even when it's happened, if I thought the game was good, I've managed to find a friend group to play it anyway.
Yeah.
Can you think of any games where you've played it and you just thought, I am never playing that game again because these people are dicks?
No, because I think we've been quite blessed at club.
Yeah.
With opponents, people to play against, chill guys, etc. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, again, historically, I don't want to name, shame, and point fingers, but there used to be a guy at our local 40k club that was a tournament player, massively into the game, etc., would say he's bringing a fluffy list, and then it turns out to be 2 death turkeys, and it's like, no, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Get to the end of turn 3, and it's like, yeah, no, the fucking game's over, mate, because this is not a game anymore.
Yeah.
This is me picking up stuff.
Yeah.
And removing it because there's no game here.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time I've ever called a game and walked away from it. I've been very fucking close with Blood Bowl, but not for similar reasons, just because I don't have any luck with fucking dice, apparently. Double skull into double skull, anyone? Yeah, that's cool.
That is true. You don't have any fucking luck with dice. Your dice were just amazing. That last game we played. And then when we played Trevor's card game, fucking hell, that was funny. Your ones into ones, or whatever the fuck it was. It was very good. Yeah, so absolute cardinal sin. Because you know what? I don't even care if your models are grey. And I don't care if you don't even know half the rules. Some games, war games, can be extremely convoluted, complicated things. They are a leisure activity, so I think it's a bit much to expect somebody to, put in the hours to fucking refine their abilities, learn a rule set backwards. And you know what? As long as the social contract is being adhered to, the whole process of playing a war game can be enjoyable. Discussing the rules, working out what's the correct way to play it. You and I do that all the time. It's one of the most enjoyable aspects of us playing together, I think, half the time, is talking,
even
through rule situations and working out what's the right, in bunny ears, way to do it.
I just want to call it out here.
Yep.
Monday, Malifaux, we played with open secondaries, open schemes. You shouldn't play with open schemes, but we did because it was my first game. I could have been a massive bell end on turn 2 and stopped Paul scoring what he did, because I could have just out of spaced your scheme marker, couldn't I?
Yeah.
And even though, because it wasn't revealed, it wasn't on the table as Paul was playing that, I took the approach of, well, this is a learning game. I'm going to play it as if I don't know what I know what he's got, but I'm not playing it that way, kind of thing.
Fair enough. I mean, again, though, to be fair, the reason we played it open was so that we could discuss how it works as a game mechanic, wasn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I could have exploited that fact.
Yep.
But I didn't, because I'm certainly not that kind of guy. Do you know what I mean?
Let's do our second virtue. We're gonna have to speed things up.
Yeah, we are.
So, this one's easy as well. This is enthusiasm. We've got down here.
Just be proactive. It kind of crosses over with the things and bits and pieces that we've already spoken about. Have some excitement for your game. Play your game. Even if you are losing, on the back foot, etc. Have some sportsmanship and still give your opponent the best game that you can.
Yeah. I think for me, this is the critical part of this is don't just be enthusiastic to enjoy yourself, because that can involve telling stupid jokes, throwing things, larking about like you're 7 years old or whatever. For me, this hinges around be enthusiastic for the game, whatever that is. Yeah? Playing it, being immersed in it, being engaged with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know entirely what you mean, mate.
If you're good, anybody can. There are loads of people, I'm sure, that we've all met in our lives that were good company. Do you know what I mean? And there were probably people that we were even friends with, even though we didn't share a passion for gaming. People that were a good laugh down the pub. People that we could sort of like, get together with, for martial arts class or to play music together or whatever. I'm sure we've all had these people, friends, acquaintances in our lives, and they're great people. But the brutal truth is, when you're playing a war game, the most important thing is that your opponent is enthusiastic for what you're doing. there is absolutely nothing that will absolutely ruin an evening for everybody else if one person frankly doesn't give a shit and would rather not be there, or would rather be doing anything else but concentrating on the game.
Thing I'm going to say, if you've had a shit day at work, had a shit day at home with the wife, family, friends, whatever, use your gaming experience as an escape. Don't bring the baggage through the door.
Or if you don't think that you're able to do that and you don't trust yourself to do that, call it off. Cry off. You know, just say to your friends, sorry guys, I'm going to need to sit this out because X, Y, and Z. I've had a shit day, argued with my boss, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
don't heroically go forth onto the breach unless you think you can pull it off. You know, if you really think you can bury all that misery and still enjoy what you're doing, then fine. But if you've got even a suspicion that you can't, don't. Because enthusiasm is everything.
Don't be a martyr.
Yeah.
Right. Final sin then, Paul.
Final sin. Now, this one's a weird one. So, mimicry and Me Tooism. Okay? So, what do we mean by this? This again comes down to game design. For me, and this is something that has kept me from engaging with a lot of games at first blush. If a game doesn't have anything unique to offer, and if this is extreme to the point where it literally is just the most bland, generic, repackaged gaming experience possible, then it's like, what are you even doing? This annoys me so much because
why am I here? Why am I spending time with you?
Yeah, our hobby is. People say our hobby is not expensive relative to other hobbies, and to some degree that is true. But at the same time, our hobby is extremely time intensive, even if it can be done on the cheap cash wise. And playing these sort of games requires a considerable amount of effort, planning, and input.
Foresight as well for planning games, etc. This comes into enthusiasm. Just to mention there, because I forgot to mention that when we were on that one.
What's that?
Forward planning of your games and being enthusiastic about like your time, etc.
Yeah.
Being organised.
Again, being passionate, being enthusiastic in that moment is the most important thing for me. But yeah. The thing with the mimicry Me Tooism one is that everybody's going to have their own different sort of like standards and levels for this. So, for example, I'm pretty sensitive on this sort of thing. So, like, bless him, I do love Joseph M. McCulloch's games, and you've heard me sing the praises of Frostgrave not but 20 minutes ago. But at the same token, I'm not really asked to play Stargrave because it's a bit of a cookie. It's a bit of a cookie cutter copy of his other system.
Yeah. And again, it's a shame to Joseph because they are probably exceptional games. They are, knowing how he's produced Oathmark, how he's produced Silver Bayonet, the fact that Frostgrave, Stargrave, Ghost Archipelago is such a cookie cutter experience with a slight tweak here and a slight tweak there. is not the best experience, is it?
Again, it certainly does not sing to me. And you know, I'm sure if I played Stargrave, well, I would enjoy it. Would I be immediately driven to go out and build, collect, paint, and explore it? I doubt it. I just doubt it.
Yeah.
As I say, if
Shawcross has hit the nail on the head here, though. Maybe it's because we have the fondest rose-tinted memories of Frostgrave because it was our first true
definitely
Joseph McCullough love.
no, but again, that does highlight, to be honest with you, Shakos, for me, it's that this is why I think the sin is that feeling of almost deja vu. Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah, we've been here, we've done that, we've got the T-shirt. We're doing it again, are we?
Yeah, if you've got 3 games that operate on basically the same core rule system with tiny differences, and they're all on the market, and you come along as a new player, and you pick one and play one, like, you might find the other 2 unrewarding just because you came to that one first. I think you are dead right. Like, for example, if I'd have played Stargrave first, I might be like, nah, on Frostgrave. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's entirely possible.
I know entirely what you mean, dude.
But again, and to be honest, I do wonder why sometimes that these very competent and clever game designers put all of their fucking effort into rehashing the same system. But we've talked about that before on stream. We'll not recover that again. So the last one for the virtues is creative freedom.
Being able to do what you want with the game. We've mentioned it already with Frostgrave. The fact that it's miniature agnostic, just have the rules set and pick up what you think is cool. Like Paul doing his fucking entire warband of
dogs,
Dungeons and Doggos for Frostgrave, etc. Again, just calling it here, having a group of friends that will happily sit there and say similar and go, yeah, no, that's cool. I'm fine playing against a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, and if a game system offers you freedom to express yourself in it, because this is a bit different to accessibility. A game can be easy. I know we have crossed over with Frostgrave because Frostgrave does tick this box sort of as well. Having said that, Frostgrave is very particular about its setting and its mood and its feel. The old frozen city of Felstadt is a core part of what makes Frostgrave. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's not like 7TV, for example, where it's like, do you want to be, what are we going to play today? Well, we're gangsters in 1920s America. And
then next week, we're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on a movie set.
Yeah, and then next week we're going to recreate a Lord of the Rings-esque scene. And the next week we're going to do a scene out of, I don't know, fucking Indiana Jones or a World War II movie. Okay, those sort of games that give you the freedom to take the rules and pretty much do what you like with it, they're becoming more common. And for me, while I can understand they scare, the one thing that those products are not for probably is new players coming into the hobby at the first flush. But when you're a bit of a veteran and you've got some chops, hobby chops, is there anything better than building your own experience, cog by cog, brick by brick? Right.
Can I just add an honourable mention?
Go on then.
Judging a book by its cover.
Okay. It's intriguing.
Or taking internet reviews as gospel. Because we have both been bitten by
What are these? Are these sins?
Are they sins? Are they virtues? Do you know what I mean?
Well, judging a book by its cover, if it's a sin, then you're doing it and you're wrong. If it's a virtue, you're doing it and it's actually the best thing to do. And I'm not sure it always is. If what
No,
you do, you
but
mean it in its broadest sense, as in literally judge a book by its cover, or do you mean like what do you, when you first look at something, don't be sucked right in, step back
either
and
don't be sucked right in or don't be too dismissive of it.
okay,
This is why I'm saying it's kind of a bit of both. Do you know what I mean?
bloody hell, glad
Of
we left it off the list then, because it sounds complicated.
if you are judging something on just first impressions,
Yeah.
again, or judging stuff off the fact that it's multi-award winning. Oh, I will probably like this game.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is where I'm going
okay,
with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always, we've said it time and time again. Try before you buy. Don't get sucked in. It's a bit of both. It's a bit of a sin. It's a bit of a virtue. To be able to be discerning and say, oh, well, actually, I'm going to try it first. That's all I wanted to come in with the thingy.
Yeah,
with
okay.
With an honourable mention.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, as I say, I'm sure we'll come back to that topic.
Shakos is attacking you. Don't buy, spam's looking. Over there! Over there!
Oh dear. Right, okay, let's call it a night, guys. I need to go and find out. I don't imagine there's anything going on, but the pundits are no doubt spinning their political wheels as we speak here in the UK.
And I've got some Malifaux to sit into a basket.
Oh dear. You could always put it off till next year and play with my models until then to get to know
But
Forth.
it's not the same, Paul.
Just thought I'd offer. What?
Hang on.
Oh, what?
Just before you go,
Yes.
let me go to the internet and turn my camera sideways. Thank you for the metallic suggestion. Go, Paul.
Oh, right. Do you want your
Yes, I do.
Hang on a minute. Content display. Oh, I didn't know where you were going with that. Okay. Do-doom. Yes. So, you see, mate, that was a very good shout, James. Congratulations on being top of the class there, buddy. Brilliant job. They look great. Yeah, you aren't. I'll give you it.
Still a few bits to do. Got some handles to paint. Got to paint in the body of that lantern black because he's not going to have a lit lantern in his satchel, but we're getting there. Slowly, we're getting there. These are nearly done.
Yeah, that's really good. They look amazing. And what is that? So where is that metallic from? Is that the Vallejo blue steel? Elemental blue from model color. Gunmetal blue, sorry. Struggling to read it. I shall have to get that paint because that looks pretty fucking cool. Right.
It's a really good colour.
Where are we? Let's fade back to that. Then we want this. Okay, guys, let's wind this up. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to the audience, our esteemed co-hosts over here in the chat. Thank you very much.
It's hot in here.
If you can only find time to do one thing tonight, please click the like button. Because it's greatly appreciated and it pushes us a little bit in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to do all the YouTubey shit underneath it, share, comment, subscribe, then that's amazing. But you do what suits you and what you think will benefit your YouTube experience. We are off to Diceni at the weekend, so next week, be prepared to hear all about the first gaming show of the year for us.
And I'm about to go stick my head in a freezer because it's too fucking hot.
At least he said head.
If It's another Thursday night. I see Crispin's wearing tights. Spanner's getting in the bath. Young David's full of wrath. Paula's tightening his straps. Where on his apron you saps. Technical difficulties, technical difficulties. They're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, technical difficulties. They happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time. Cheese meat is on day release. Dan Silk tries not to crease. And Ewok's keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening up the can. Technical difficulties, technical difficulties. They're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, technical difficulties. They happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time. Cheese Bee is on day release. Damn Chef tries not to crease. But Ewok's keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. 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 Cheese Meat is on day release. Damn me up tries not to crease. And Ewok's keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can.